This part is a little bit more challenging, right? But for me, it is very interesting. Right? It's an interesting chapter. Okay, now let's look at these three words before we go into in detail. Scrapping and disposal. Is there any differences between scrapping and dispose?
Yes. The difference is disposal, you throw it.
Scrapping, you don't throw it.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, you read the first 3 points, whether you can get any answer or not. Can you tell me what is the difference between scrapping and disposal? Ada jawapan? What is the difference between scrapping and disposal? Then?
Just like remove.
Both also remove lah.
I think disposal we sell it back. But asset scrap we don't.
Yeah, scrap you throw it.
Yeah,
Okay, the main difference is that when you scrap an asset, there is no sales proceed received. What does it mean? That means if you scrap something, you won't get anything in return. Alright, for example, you own an asset, okay, and then you send it to a recycle center. That's it. And no one will pay you a single cent. That's called scrapping. Yeah, disposal is like you have a second-hand car. Takkan tak ada value kan? 5,000, 2,000 still value, right? When you sell your second-hand car, you get back the 5,000. That is called disposal, and you will have sales proceed. The sales proceed here meaning this one. Money coming in. Okay? Scrap, tak ada proceed. Disposal, ada proceed. Okay? Now, it's very simple for you to remember. You know, scrap paper, you throw, right? You receive any money? No, right? But disposal, every time you dispose an asset, okay, you will receive money. Alright, now, whether you scrap or dispose an asset, whichever it is, actually, you are right, you still remove them from your account. Because when you buy asset, you debit non-current asset, right? When you sell it, don't you think you should remove? Yes, otherwise it will still in your account, but actually you have already sold it. Cannot. Alright, you have to show that this one no longer in your account. You have to remove it from your account. Okay, and the second thing is that you have to calculate this gain or loss on disposal. Okay, so we'll learn this. How do we get the gain or loss on disposal? Okay, so this is what we're going to learn in scrapping and disposal. Okay, part exchange we come back later. Right now we focus on scrapping and disposal first. Okay, so now let me go back to this scrap and dispose. Are you still okay? Yes, huh? Okay, now. Okay, so there are a few steps for you to remember every time we deal with scrapping and disposal. The first few times maybe you have to remember the steps, but I'm sure after we have tried all the past year later, all this will be automatically remembered. Okay, all right. Now, so I'm going to give you the step first. The first one, when you want to scrap or dispose your asset, again what I mentioned is, whichever it is, you have to remove them from your book, right? Yes. When you remove it from a book, that means you have to remove it from your non-current asset. Okay, so you go to your non-current asset. You put down the step 1. You transfer non-current asset. Previously, you record it at cost, right? Macam tadi you have 80,000. Transfer non-current asset at cost to an account called disposal account. Okay, so what's the double entry? When you look at this description also, you can guess already. Yeah, credit from your non-current asset because you are removing it from your account, and then debit to your disposal. Yeah, right. Yes, credit non-current asset, debit disposal account. Now, and this non-current asset now is being recorded at cost, at the original purchase cost. All right, and transfer the cost to disposal account. Now, every time when you have a non-current asset, other than the non-current asset account, this one, two accounts will be automatically created every time when you have motor vehicle. First is depreciation. Second one is accumulated depreciation. But in your depreciation account, there's no balance because you already transfer to SOPR every year. But in your accumulated depreciation, remember, I asked you what is accumulated, you say you kumpul. You dah kumpul bertahun-tahun. And here, your accumulated figure is 46,250. If you remove your motor vehicle, don't you think you should remove this as well? Takkan you remove your asset, tapi accumulated depreciation masih ada dekat dalam. Not logic, right? So when you remove your asset, at the same time, accumulated depreciation must be removed as well. Logic? Okay, now, asset is on the debit side. To remove, you go to the credit side. How about your accumulated depreciation? You are having a credit balance here. Right? Credit balance here. In order for you to remove, what do? You have to debit. All right? Debit your accumulated depreciation. Okay. So now you go to your accumulated depreciation, you remove it and transfer to the same account called disposal account. So tadi, the first one, kita transfer NCA. Secondly, what do you transfer?
Transfer cumulative depreciation.
Yes, accumulated depreciation to disposal account.
So we debit.
Yes, so you debit what account? Yes, debit accumulated depreciation yes, credit disposal. So what you have done from your step 1 and step 2 is removing NCA, removing accumulated depreciation. Okay, so you have removed two things. Okay, right. Thirdly, if you are selling your asset, what do you receive just now? Receive money. Do you need to record? Yes, record the sales proceed lah, right? Because you receive money. Okay, so record the sales proceed of NCA. Okay, so you're selling your non-current asset. Okay, record the sales proceed. Right, so just now we have transferred something to disposal, right? You will have to go to your disposal account, credit, remove everything from disposal account. So you receive money. If you receive immediately money, then it will be debit bank lah. Otherwise, yeah, it will be receivable. Someone owing you the money. Maybe they take your second-hand car but not paid yet. So receivables. No, sale is on your daily selling of sale. Yeah, so this is capital income, not the revenue income. Cannot credit sales. Okay. Okay, so this figure here is the sales proceed figure. The money that you receive. Okay, in the next part I will show you the gain or loss on disposal. Now, I repeat your question, it's a valid question. Now, in your practice question, all right, or in the actual life, many of us will have this thought, I'm selling my non-current asset. Shouldn't I just credit sales and debit bank? Alright, the answer is no. We cannot campur aduk the sales of my NCA to the normal sales that I'm selling, right? Because my normal sales, I may be selling products, right? Products that I'm selling stationery. This one I'm selling motor vehicle. Because this is my non-current asset, it's not my daily selling. I cannot credit to my sales. If you credit to your sales, you see, if I'm selling pencil, okay, how many pencils I have to sell in order for me to get 20,000, right? Suddenly, my sales, for example, I sell for 1 year, whole 1 year, okay, the whole year, the pencil that I sold, I only dapat 5,000, a pencil only, right? 5,000. Suddenly, there's 1 year, my sales become 21,000 because I sell my car. Misleading, right? They thought you sell a lot of pencil, but actually no, you sell your car. So cannot, right? You cannot include your sales into the normal sales account. Otherwise, it appeared in your SOPL under your sales figure, which is very misleading, right? So we won't do that. Okay, if you do that, it's like error of principle lah. Okay, the capital income and revenue income is being mixed up. Okay, all right. So maybe this will be asked in your FA1, right? So yeah, good that you asked. Okay, so let's recall the first 3 steps. Please remember, okay, tell me what is the step 1? Transfer what? NCA. Second step, you transfer accumulated depreciation. Third step, you record sales proceed. Okay, sales proceed. Okay, to transfer NCA, credit NCA, debit disposal. Transfer depreciation, you debit accumulated depreciation, credit disposal. Lastly, you debit the amount that you received and you credit to your disposal account. Okay, now we are going to practice these 3 steps into the next illustration, and there you'll be introduced the loss or the gain on disposal. Yes, let's go to illustration A. Okay, I give you the chance to practice the first 3 steps. You can do it by looking at the 3 steps. Profit or loss? Profit kan? Okay, let's look at the 3 steps. Okay, can you recall for me what is the first step? Transfer NCA to disposal account. So I go to my NCA, which is in this case my motor vehicle account. I remove credit 80,000 and I'm going to transfer it to my disposal account. So I go to my disposal, 80,000 motor vehicle. First step, okay? Okay. Second step, transfer apa? Accumulated depreciation. So here debit 60,000, transfer to disposal. $60,000. Third step, record the proceed. How much is the sales proceed? 25,000. You receive 25,000. Debit bank, credit disposal, right? Or maybe it is a receivables. Okay. So when you refer to the first two accounts, they are now closed, right? No more motor vehicle account, no more balance in your accumulated depreciation account. Okay, right? So you remove already lah. Okay, so the remaining is on your disposal account. Now, when you add these two up, you realize that my credit side have 85,000, but my debit side I only have 80,000. The balancing figure is at my debit side. Yes, this figure I'll bring to SOPL. Now, debit from your disposal account, and you're going to bring to the credit side of the SOPL. When you bring to a credit side of the SOPL, that means your income is increasing, right? What do you think this is? A profit or a loss? This is your profit on disposal. Can you see? Because I'm going to bring this to the credit side of my SOPL, right? So it's a profit increase, profit on disposal. Are you so far okay? Okay, yeah? All right, now, this is a complete way of showing you, okay, what is happening in the NCA account, the accumulated depreciation account, and the disposal account, all right? In the exam, of course, if you have the time, you can do it nicely like this, 3 account, and then you get the SOPL figure, all right? But if let's say the question is asking you for the disposal, all right, account, and they ask you about whether there's a profit or a gain on disposal. Basically, you can just use mathematics. Okay, you can just use simple calculation to get whether it is a profit or a loss on disposal, right? Now, in order for you to know whether it is a profit or loss, okay, you compare two things. What are you comparing? First, you look at your proceed. Proceeds means how much you receive from what you have sold. Secondly, you compare with NBV. Proceeds versus NBV. What is NBV? Net book value. How to get net book value? Yes. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Right? For example, in this case, how much is my proceed? 25,000. Okay. How much is your NBV? 80,000 minus 60,000. So 20,000. Proceed is 25, NBV is 20,000. Net book value. Look at the book. Book means what? In your record, on your book. All right. So in your record, you look, okay, my motor vehicle should have this value, 20,000. At least you must sell 20,000. If someone pay you 18, you have a loss lah, or you don't sell because it's too low. All right. If someone pay you 25, do you sell? Quickly sell. All right. Because for you, your book value is only 20. They're willing to pay you 25. So what happened here is you gain 5,000, right? And this 5,000 is basically your, yes, gain or profit on disposal. Okay? Boleh ya? Yes, go to SOPL. If your profit is only 18, then it become 2,000 loss lah. If lah, alright, if. In this case, it's 5,000. So the 5,000 gain is actually also the same as this one, right? The disposal. But I skip all the double entry. I just look at figures only. Right? If the question just need the gain or loss on disposal, you just ask yourself, how much is the profit? How much is the NBV? Am I happy? Yes. This one set. Happy means gain because you receive more. Happy lah. This one, you thought is 20, people only pay you 18, so set lah. Set is loss. Okay. If you receive more, then happy is gain. Okay. Just cari profit, cari NBV. Senang tak? Senang Make sure you answer correctly. Your progress test will include chapter 8. Alright, progress test. Later lah, after your FA1 and MA1. I'll postpone it later, alright, until you finish your exam. Okay, until this chapter. Alright, so far any question? Okay, clear, profit or loss on disposal. Okay, so done. We have done disposal. Now, what if it is a scrapping class?
Just transfer the non-current asset to scrap.
What happens if it's scrapping? Do you still transfer your non-current asset and accumulated depreciation? Why not? You throw it. You also have to throw your depreciation. Alright. If this is disposal, my question is, what if you scrap it? Does that make any difference? Step 1, step 2, no difference. Because you still remove it. You have to remove NCA, you have to remove accumulated depreciation. The only difference is that when you are doing this, there's no profit. The other step 3 because there's no profit. Step 1, step 2, you still have to do it. Right? But in your step 3, if you don't do it, because you have already done this one, right? 80 and 60. Now this becomes 0. This becomes 0. So what happened? I show you here. It's like this. I draw. Just now 60 here, right? 60K here, 80K here. By right lah, you have a sales proceed here 25K, right? Now this 25K becomes 0. Okay, so how? When I close, it is 80 here, it is 80 here. So my balancing figure will be here 20K SOPL. Credit in my disposal account, debit to my SOPL. That means this 20K is my loss on disposal. This 20K of loss of disposal, the word 20 is the same as my NBV. You see, this one is what happened? This one is proceed lesser than NBV. Right? This one is scrap. Scrap means what? 0 proceed. So this one becomes 0. Your NBV? 20,000. So loss 20,000. Where is that? Okay. Put there like that. Put there the tears like that. Put down the tears. 20,000. Okay, that means you have to remember this. Every time you scrap any asset, your loss will be your NBV figure. Am I right? Because you thought you will receive 20,000, but you got 0. You got nothing. So if you scrap, automatically the whole thing become loss. Okay, but if you scrap, at least you receive 18 alright. So your loss is still okay lah, still 2,000, still boleh. Okay, now this is the difference if you scrap. Okay, now so talk about the 18. Just I show you in the double entry here. This one 18 and 20. Okay, 18 means like this lah. Here instead of 25K, what you have here is like this. Okay, so your profit just now is 25, right? According to the question. What if your profit is now 18K? So now it comes 80K here, 80K here. Here only 78, right? So 2 more 1,000, 2,000 here, SOPL. So credit your disposal account, debit to your SOPL. So still the 2,000 is your loss on disposal. Here lah, the 2,000 loss on disposal. You get it, class? Okay, right. So what you have learned here is about disposal and scrapping. Clear? Okay, what is the third thing? Part exchange. Okay. Yeah, part exchange. Now, actually, part exchange is happening in our daily life, just that we don't use this word as part exchange. Now, let me ask you, if you have a car, you want to sell off your old car to get a new car. What is the term we use in our daily life? Trade in. Part exchange is actually trade in. Do you know you can trade in your phone also now? Can, right? You can trade in your phone, you can trade in a lot of things. You can trade in your massage chair, trade in your computer, alright, for a new computer, boleh. That's called trade in. Basically, part exchange is trade in. Meaning, the difference between part exchange and disposal is that when you dispose your old asset, you receive money, right? But part exchange, you also dispose your old asset, but you don't get money. What do you get? New asset. New asset, alright. Okay, that's the difference. Alright, okay, let's read.